My kitchen cabinets are seriously caught in a time warp. They are completely mismatched, and it was time for an upgrade. So as you can see, they are cracked and chipped. So for my sink base, I wanted to go ahead and replace all of the drawer fronts. And as you can see, the hardware is rusty and old, and everything is pretty much from the 50s on this sink base. Over here I have a built-in cabinet with tall doors. This cabinet has a china cabinet on the other side, so it's kind of like a bump out, and then the bottom has cabinets. As you guys can see, everything is a two-tone, and I really wanted to get rid of that as well. I will be using this 4-inch poplar board to replace the drawer fronts. I will be using the Behr Premium Satin Cabinet in trim enamel in the color gray. I forgot what the actual shade is, but I do know it was considered a custom color, so they couldn't save it for me. For this project, I will also be using their cabinet and trim primer in the color white, but I should have gotten it tinted. Here I've put on the first coat of primer. I did put 2 coats of primer on everything before I moved on to the color. This paint really does require 3 coats of paint. So I do suggest maybe having your primer tinted before you use it. So here I have removed the drawer fronts, and this is what they look like after taking those off. You can see the old marks from the handle. See a little bit of the wood kind of came off with the drawer, but that's okay because I went ahead and replaced all of those pieces with the poplar. Here is one of the drawers with the drawer front removed, and as you guys can see, these are the pieces of poplar that I will be using in order to replace those. And here is a piece that I'm using for the front of the sink base over the old venting. Here's the piece I made for the front of the sink base to cover up where it has the venting, and I'm using these clips to hold them while the glue dries on these. So here I'm just showing how this will be placed on the sink base. To make sure I maintained space between the drawer front and this piece here, I only made it just long enough to go over that opening. I'm not really sure what the vent is made out of, but it's not metal, but it's also too thin to nail through. So I made these little pieces here. So I just wanted to make sure that I had a little bit extra in order to nail that down. On my built-in cabinet, I have 58-inch doors. So since this poplar comes in 2.5 by 48 inches, I did have to cut some 10-inch pieces in order to complete the door. So here I'm in my basement. I've added a couple coats of primer. On my drawers, I did paint the entire drawer except for the bottoms and the backs. I wanted to go ahead and just give it a fresh look and a fresh coat, so that was the best way for me to do that. Here we have the first coat of the gray cabinet enamel. After this, I did add 2 more coats. Here is the completed look. I added 10-inch handles that I got from Amazon, as well as new hardware that I also got on Amazon. I lined my drawers and my shelves with this shelf liner that I picked up from Amazon. I wanted to protect the surface while updating the look. I think this style gives this a more regal look. What do you guys think? Here I will be adding a countertop and 2 shelves above that just to give me a little more prep and storage space. I really love how the cabinets look. I love how everything looks cohesive and looks like more of a set, and I really just love the overall look of everything and the way it makes my kitchen feel.